Alright, you lot, welcome to Gaming Hellwire. Only daily news show where truth gets served raw and industry gets dragged out behind patch notes for a good kicking. Today we're talking about dopamine dealers in Santa suits, Fortnite turning into Steam with emotes, Treyarch's last minute never mind you can all play now panic patch, EA suddenly being raped for once, and Battlefield's latest skill downgrade turning WoW into tutorial. Buckle up, this ride's powered by sarcasm, caffeine, and a deep hatred for XP tokens. So, nearly half of US kids want in-game currency for Christmas. Not bikes, not books, not even bloody chocolate. No, they want V-Bucks, Robux, COD points, FIFA coins, or whatever fake digital tap the favourite streamers flogging this week. We're raising a generation that don't just get addicted to games, they're mainlining microtransactions before they can spell debt. Now don't get me wrong, I've done it. I've bought skins, I've thrown down a tenner for some shiny bollocks cause kids asked. But it's rub, that dopamine spike, that flashy glow when loot box spins or rare skin drops, it's chemically identical to gambling. Same part at brain, same buzz, same crash. Only difference, casinos in your living room and dealers wearing a Mario hat. I know a kid who burned $3,000. $3,000 on one skin. One! Not a bundle, not a battle pass, one skin. And yeah, maybe that's extreme. Maybe most kids aren't tapping into the parents' PayPal like it's GTA Online. But even if they aren't, addiction's still there. Behaviour's still being trained. It's not just spending, it's ritual, identity, and flex. And for folks saying, oh, you're too old to get it, or it's just our game's whack now. Nah, that's bollocks. Every time you buy that AI-generated limited time skin you'll bin in 2 weeks, you're telling suits, yeah please, more layoffs, more mediocrity, more of this all a shite. You're funding death or artistry, you're bankrolling bland. And you know what's part? Games aren't even better for it. Money don't go into content, it goes into metrics, analytics, more exploitative skin rotations, and more dev sacks so company can train an algorithm to crank out seasonal nonsense with a snowflake pattern. But look, it ain't all doom. One bright spark, kids still want a game with the parents. And that's gold. Real bonding, not just co-op, but connection. I've spent more hours in digital worlds with my kids than I could count. And I'd trade every skin, every pack, every overpriced cosmetic for 5 more minutes of that joy. Games can bring families together, but not when only conversation is, can I have your credit card? So yeah, buy coins if you want, but know what you're really buying and who's selling. Right, next up, Epic just shook hands with Unity. Yeah, that Unity. Same clowns who nearly nuked indie scene with the runtime fee stunt and are buddying up with same Fortnite factory that printed enough V-Bucks to buy a small country. Deal? Unity devs can now shove the game straight into Fortnite via UEFN. Translation? Fortnite just became lesser a game, more a bloody black hole, sucking in every genre, every engine, and every stray pixel it can reach. And I get it, this is supposed to be dream, cross-platform paradise. No more exclusives, no more walls. Jwood 2010's right, competition does breed excellence. But this ain't competition, this is consolidation disguised as collaboration. And don't get it twisted, it will change landscape, probably already has. When you launch a Unity game inside Fortnite, Epic becomes platform. Not PlayStation, not Xbox, not Steam, Epic. One launcher to rule them all. Now for fanboys crying about console wars, get a rest. Nobody's raiding your digital church. It don't matter if a PlayStation game drops on Xbox or vice versa, your controller still works, your save file still loads, and your mum still won't play with you. What matters is this, players get access. Everywhere, anytime. And for once, that's a win. I play PC cause it does everything. You play console cause it does what you need. That's only loyalty that matters. Not a logo, but to what works. These deals, Unity with Epic, Xbox with PlayStation, they're stripping down old tribalism. That's a good thing. We've had 20 years of exclusives acting like padlocks on content. It's about time someone smashed them off with a sledgehammer. But keep your eye on it, cause every time two giants hug, someone small gets crushed. Unity devs are desperate for reach after FIFA fiasco. Epic's hungry to its own attention spans. This isn't just, yay, more games in more places. It's a silent turf war for who gets to own future of publishing. For now, we benefit, but don't get too comfy. They're not doing this for you, they're doing it to own pipe. So, Treyarch just announced that Endgame, their new big shiny mode for Black Ops 7, is being unlocked for everyone. Yay! Hooray! Let peasants in. But wait, what about poor sods who already beat co-op campaign just to unlock it hard way? Oh, don't worry, Treyarch's got them covered, with 3 XP tokens and some gobblegum. Stunning, truly. Revolution has been fed. Let's break it down. You slogged through campaign, earned your spot in Endgame, probably thought you were part of something exclusive. Then Treyarch opens gates a week later and hands out a goodie bag that might as well say, "Thanks for beta testing, Mog." Triple XP tokens, gobblegum, some blueprint scraps. You got paid in party favours while they open all bloody event to everyone else. This is why people stop trusting devs. It's not just sudden change, it's timing, messaging, condescending pat on head while they flip switch. If you're going to make something exclusive and grind locked, stick to it. If you're going to go wide access, at least make early access crowd feel like they didn't just waste a week on XP crumbs and digital bubblegum. Look, mode itself might actually be solid. Escalating zones, proper co-op structure, camo grinding. It's got me. Avalon might be best new COD content in years. But why bury it behind artificial unlocks just to make it public a few days later? That's marketing, not design. And you can smell it from Zone 4. It's not mode that's problem, it's constant bait and switch, artificial scarcity, manipulative pacing designed to make you grind, then gaslight you for expecting value. So congrats Treyarch, you made something decent, then launched it like it were a mobile gacha crossover. Do better. Right then, EA just stood on a milk crate and declared Battlefield 6 its best shooter in industry. And look, normally when EA bigs up their own game, I roll my eyes so hard I sprain my optic nerve. But this time, they might actually be telling the truth. Shocking, I know. Pre-orders stomped Black Ops 7s into dirt. Beta numbers didn't just beat recent COD launches, they humiliated them. And that's without Warzone's TikTok trending streamer baiting fluff. Battlefield's just turned up, tanking gear, no excuses, and blasted COD back to modern mediocre era. And you know what? Good! About bloody time. Battlefield spent too long in shadow of Activision's semi-annual reskin. It deserves spotlight, not just cause God fumbled again, but cause this time EA actually seems to have remembered what a shooter should feel like. Big maps, big guns, big chaos, not corridor running bunny hopping esports cosplay. Now say what I always say when EA shows a spark of competence. Bring back Titanfall! And not just an Apex Easter egg, we want Titanfall 3. Full wall running, mech dropping, time shifting beast. While you're at it, dig up Medal of Honor and get love you've gained Battlefield. It's not hard, fans are still after you. We didn't go anywhere, we just got tired of being ignored while you glued loot boxes to sports games. Battlefield 6 might actually be a turning point, not just for EA, but for shooters in general. Cause if you've got Battlefield climbing out at grave and slapping COD across face with player counts, whole genre's in for a shake-up. But don't get smug EA, you've got momentum, don't fumble it with store bundles and broken patches. You've won a round, now win war. And this is where I'm going to say it out loud, but devs and back still have spreadsheets and bad coffee. Battlefield is not supposed to be easy. It's not Mario Kart, it's not Farmville, it's bloody Warzone. So why hell are we dumbing it down to the point where you can unlock elite gear by sneezing in general direction or an enemy? Battlefield Comms just announced a fresh batch of challenge changes. It reads like a cry for help. Long range recon kills slashed by 75 meters. Hip fire challenges rewritten into just fire someone near someone, will count it. And worst part, some meteor objectives have been removed entirely. Gone, vanished, like integrity in a shareholder meeting. Now I'm not some elitist wanker with a 248 monitor and G Fuel on an IV drip. I'm a knackered casual. I can't even use a keyboard and mouse without looking like I'm having a seizure during a rave. But even I think it's patronising. I completed some hard challenges by accident, and that were afore they nerfed them. What's it say when I can unlock high-tier recon rewards with no scope, no headset, and me dog walking across controller? And don't give me that tired excuse, not everyone has time. Spare me. Most of you saying that play more hours a week than I do, and I run a bloody business, a channel, and I've got kids. What you mean is, I don't want to fail. And that's fine. No one wants to fail, but turning every challenge into a checkbox on a participation chart isn't helping anyone. It's just insulting players who actually gear toss. What about middle tier players? Ones who grind, who play smart, who log in each night for a solid hour or two just to chip away at progress. They're gonna smash through these limp dick challenges in days. Then what? Cute lack of content cries. Rinse, repeat. We've seen this cycle before. You flatten curves so hard it becomes a puddle, and then wonder why everyone walks away bored. These changes aren't accessibility, they're appeasement. And worse, they're dangerous. Because once your player base expects rewards for notes, you've trained them not to engage, just to consume. And that's how you end up like FIFA, a dopamine machine with no soul. Battlefield used to mean something. Maps that demanded strategy, weapons that took finesse, challenges that made you earn your unlocks. You didn't just stumble into that mastery, you fought for it. When you finally got that 200-meter sniper kill, you remembered it, because it meant something. Nah, only thing that means out is your AFK timer. So, DICE, listen up, stop playing babysitter, start building a Battlefield again. One that rewards patience, learning, and yeah, a bit of failure. That's what makes victories matter, because if everyone's a hero, no one is. And that's your gaming Hellwire for today. Storm of skin addiction, fake platform piece, corporate ego trips, half-assed content drops, and challenge nerfs so soft you could spread them on toast. Like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Drop your comments and questions below. Unless you're defending those XP tokens as fair. In which case, bring a helmet. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.